Grayson Allen. If college basketball ever had a Most Punchable Face award, Grayson Allen's name would be engraved on it 3 times over. The man was basically the final boss of Duke villains. Scrappy, smug, and always one technical foul away from being escorted out by security. Allen came to Duke as a 6'4" shooting guard with bounce, swagger, and the kind of grin that made opposing fans want to file noise complaints. He started off promising, helping Duke win the 2015 NCAA championship as a freshman, and scoring 16 in the title game. It looked like he was on the path to greatness. Then, he discovered tripping people was his superpower. Seriously, Grayson Allen turned sticking a leg out into a lifestyle. From 2016 to 2018, he tripped so many players that refs probably started checking under his sneakers for booby traps. The first incident happened on February 8, 2016, during a game against Louisville when Grayson blatantly stuck his leg out and tripped Ray Spalding right after grabbing a rebound. He was hit with an intentional foul, but that was just the start of what would become a pattern. Less than 2 weeks later, he did it again, this time to Florida State's Xavier Rathan-Mays in the closing seconds of a Duke victory. After the game, Grayson tried to explain the situation to the Fayetteville Observer, saying, "He wanted to keep playing physical, so I tried to walk away. As he was grabbing me, we got tangled up and fell." The ACC had to officially reprimand him multiple times. Duke even stripped him of his captaincy at one point. He was like Dennis the Menace with a jump shot. And just when you thought he'd learn, he doubled down, adding floor-slapping tantrums, fake tough guy stares, and enough emotional outbursts to make an entire therapy session blush. Fans outside of Duke hated him. Duke fans, of course, defended him like he was a misunderstood genius. The craziest part? When he wasn't busy tripping opponents, the dude could ball. He averaged 21 points per game his junior year and shot lights out from 3. But every time he hit a clutch shot, the crowd just booed louder. Not because he wasn't good, but because he made it so easy to hate him. Now in the NBA, he's calmed down. Kinda, but his college legacy? It's cemented forever. Carmelo Anthony. Switching gears from a guy tripping people to a guy who tripped straight into everyone's hearts. Carmelo Anthony, the man, the myth, the freshman who made college basketball look like a personal highlight reel. Before he was Hoodie Melo or Olympic Melo, he was just a baby-faced phenom at Syracuse. And let's be honest, the guy played like he was allergic to missing. Most freshmen spend their first semester figuring out how to do laundry or survive an 8 a.m. lecture. Melo? He was out there dropping double-doubles and breaking school records before midterms. He averaged 22 points and 10 rebounds per game. Numbers that would make professors give him an A+ just out of fear. Every shot looked smooth, every move calculated. He had this calm swagger, and like he already knew the NBA was calling, and college basketball was just his audition tape. Then came the 2003 NCAA tournament, and Melo turned it into his personal mixtape. In the Final Four, he casually torched Texas for 33 points and 14 rebounds, and then followed it up with a championship win over Kansas, scoring 20 and grabbing 10 boards. And he did it all in one season. Just one. He walked into college, grabbed a national title, and walked right out like, "My work here is done." No drama, no scandals, no dirty plays, just pure basketball brilliance. Fans loved him because he made it look easy. He wasn't loud or arrogant, he just let his game do the talking. His jab step alone was a foreign language. Defenders understood it, but they couldn't respond. J.J. Redick, the man who turned Duke basketball into a hate-watch experience for an entire generation. J.J. Redick was so good it became annoying. The guy looked like every teacher's favorite student and played like he had something personal against your favorite team. He had that, "I do my homework early and then drop 40 on you for fun" kind of energy. At Duke, Redick was that guy, the sharpshooting machine who hit threes so effortlessly it made opposing crowds question their life choices. He averaged over 26 points per game his senior year, won National Player of the Year, and broke the ACC's all-time scoring record. He didn't just shoot, he torched defenses. His jumper was smoother than his haircut, and that's saying something. But man, did people hate him. Duke fans worshipped him like a basketball god, but everyone else wanted to throw their remote through the TV every time he hit another three and smirked. Redick would hit a dagger and then look at the crowd like, "You still doubting me?" And nothing made opposing fans angrier. He wasn't even dirty. He was just that infuriatingly good. And the worst part? He knew it. He'd talk trash, make a free throw with surgical precision, and jog back like he just solved basketball. But under the surface of all that swagger was a relentless work ethic. The guy trained like a robot, programmed to shoot threes. Early mornings, extra drills, while most players were trying to recover from Friday night, JJ was already perfecting his jumper for Saturday's national broadcast. He eventually turned that college villain arc into a 15-year NBA career, proving that even if you hate him, you still have to respect him. So yeah, JJ Redick was Duke's most punchable face, but also one of the coldest shooters college basketball has ever seen. He was the guy you booed every time he touched the ball, and then secretly wished your team had. Jalen Brunson. Now, if college basketball had a most likely to make his coach sleep peacefully at night award, it would have gone to Jalen Brunson every single year. While some players made headlines for tripping opponents or talking trash, Brunson was the guy you'd trust to run your offense. Or your entire life, honestly. He wasn't flashy, didn't dunk from the free throw line, and didn't need to yell, "I'm him!" after every bucket. He just played pure, surgical, winning basketball. At Villanova, Brunson turned the team into a basketball clinic. He played like your dad, if your dad just happened to be an elite point guard. Calm, unbothered, and always 2 steps ahead. When chaos broke out, Brunson would be there. Steady as ever, running the offense like he had the cheat codes. He wasn't the tallest, fastest, or most athletic, but man, the dude played with an IQ so high, NASA probably could have studied it. He could read a defense like a final exam he'd already taken twice. And the man won. 2 national championships, National Player of the Year honors, and a legacy that made Villanova fans cry tears of joy. And everyone else cry tears of jealousy. But Brunson's real magic was in how likable he was. He didn't talk trash, he didn't pull stunts. He'd just drop 25 on your favorite team, shake hands after, and smile like he just helped an old lady cross the street. He played with confidence, not arrogance, which in college hoops is rarer than a referee admitting a bad call. And now, in the NBA, he's doing the same thing, proving that Villanova nice still works in Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans adore him, and even his old college rivals can't hate the guy. He's like the golden retriever of point guards. Loyal, hardworking, and somehow always makes you smile. Christian Laettner, the reason half of America booed Duke for an entire decade. If college basketball had a movie villain, Laettner would have been the slick-haired guy in a crisp Duke jersey, smirking right before hitting a game winner that shattered your team's dreams. He wasn't just good, he was infuriatingly good, and that's what made everyone hate him. Laettner looked like the guy your girlfriend's parents actually wanted her to date. Tall, clean-cut, and dangerously confident. But on the court, he was the ultimate antagonist. He'd score 25 on your favorite team, talk trash while doing it, and then flash that smug grin that made you want to throw your remote through the TV. He wasn't afraid of pressure either. The man's highlight reel might as well be titled "Moments That Traumatized Opposing Fans." That iconic 1992 shot against Kentucky, the turnaround jumper at the buzzer, still haunts Wildcat fans to this day. Some of them probably have PTSD every time someone says "the shot." And let's not forget the infamous stomp, when he stepped on Kentucky's Amanu Timberlake during that same game. The refs gave him a technical, but fans gave him a lifelong label: the Duke Devil himself. Laettner wasn't just a villain, he embraced it. He fed off the booze like energy drinks. Every time the crowd hated him, he played even better. It's like he had a PhD in pissing people off and scoring buckets. He even had a documentary dedicated to the hatred of him titled "I Hate Christian Laettner," which was released by ESPN in 2015. But here's the kicker. Beneath all that swagger and attitude, the dude was one of the greatest college players ever. 4 Final Fours, 2 national championships, National Player of the Year, and the only college guy on the 1992 Dream Team. Imagine being so good that Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson had to make room for you. Still, fans didn't care. To them, Laettner was the guy who ruined their March Madness brackets and smiled while doing it. But to Duke fans, he was a god. They didn't just cheer for him, they worshipped him. So yeah, Christian Laettner might be the most hated player in college basketball history, but he wore that title like a championship ring. Because when the game was on the line, the villain always got the last shot. Kemba Walker. If Clutch had a face, it would be that million-watt smile from the Bronx. Before he became an NBA All-Star, Kemba was busy making defenders question their life choices at UCNN. Standing just 6 feet tall, on paper, maybe 5 feet 11 inches after a long game, Kemba wasn't supposed to dominate. But no one told him that. He played like he was 7 feet 2 inches tall, with a PhD in ankle breaking. His 2011 NCAA tournament run wasn't just impressive, it was cinematic. UConn didn't even have the best team that year, they just had Kemba. And that was enough. He led them to 5 wins in 5 days to clinch the Big East title, then carried them all the way to an NCAA championship. And let's talk about the step back. Madison Square Garden, 2011 Big East Tournament semifinals. Kemba's got the ball, time running out, and poor Pitt's Gary McGee guarding him. One quick crossover, one filthy step back. McGee literally dropped to his knees as Kemba drained the jumper and walked off like he just ended a dynasty. The clip went viral before viral was even a thing. That single move should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame by itself. Maybe with a plaque that says, "Here lies Gary McGee's ankles, 1988 to 2011. But what really made people love Kemba was his energy. No trash talk, no dirty plays, no scandals, just a humble, smiling assassin. You could be a die-hard rival fan, and you still had to admit, man, that kid's got heart. Even in the NBA, he carried that same grit. Drafted by the Charlotte Bobcats, yes, the Bobcats, the team so bad they don't even exist anymore, and still became a 4-time All-Star. That's like winning Employee of the Month at a company that's on fire. So yeah, while some college players became villains, Kemba Walker became the people's champ. You couldn't hate him even if you tried. Mostly because he was too busy cooking your defense and waving politely while doing it. Tyler Hansbrough, also known as Psycho T. And if you ever saw him play at North Carolina, you'd understand why they called him that. Standing at 6 feet 9 inches with the intensity of someone who just chugged 6 energy drinks and lost his wallet, Hansbrough didn't just play basketball, he attacked it. Every rebound, every loose ball, every foul. Dude was going 110%, even during warm-ups. If there was a stat for number of times he looked like he was about to fight the air, he'd be the all-time leader. From 2005 to 2009, Hansbrough was the face of North Carolina basketball. 4-time All-American, ACC Player of the Year, and the 2008 National Player of the Year. He broke scoring records, rebounding records, and probably a few noses along the way. But here's the thing, fans either loved him or absolutely couldn't stand him. If you were a Tar Heels fan, he was your warrior. If you weren't, he was that guy who celebrated like he just won the lottery after every layup. You know the type? Takes a charge, flexes at half court, and screams like he just dunked on God. And that face. That red, intense, always on the verge of screaming face. Tyler Hansbrough looked like he was constantly in a battle between passion and a caffeine overdose. Opponents swore he never blinked, probably because he didn't. Duke fans especially hated him. Every game against the Blue Devils was a war, and Hansbrough played like he had a personal vendetta against their entire student section. Even when he got elbowed in the face by Gerald Henderson, breaking his nose and sending blood everywhere, Hansbrough just stood up like the Terminator and walked it off. You can't make this stuff up, and that's why people couldn't stand him. He didn't quit. He didn't care about finesse, style points, or looking cool. He was pure effort and sweat, a living embodiment of try hard. After college, he went to the NBA, where, let's just say, the Psycho T energy didn't quite translate. Turns out, you can't just scare your way into double-doubles in the pros. He bounced around with the Pacers, Raptors, and Hornets, averaging a modest few points and rebounds. But hey, he still dove for every ball like his scholarship depended on it. Steph Curry, the most loved college player. Now let's talk about a college player so good he made college basketball look like the NBA playoffs. Steph Curry from Davidson. Back in 2008, this baby-faced assassin was out here turning March Madness into his personal highlight reel. I mean, people tuned in not to see who'd win, but to see how many threes Steph would drop before halftime. He wasn't supposed to be that guy. He was this skinny kid from a small school with a last name people barely recognized. But once he started shooting from distances that should have required a passport, the world took notice. Steph was pulling up from the logo before the logo was even cool, and making it look too easy. Fans fell in love with him because he wasn't some cocky 5-star recruit with a mixtape and a Nike deal at age 16. He was the underdog, the little guy who defied every scouting report that said he was too small and too weak. The only thing weak was the ankles of the defenders trying to guard him. And that NCAA tournament run? Legendary. In 2008, he dragged Davidson to the Elite Eight, hitting shot after shot like defenders were just NPCs programmed to watch him score. He led the tournament in most three-point field goals made, 23, and highest scoring average, 32.0 points per game. Even people who didn't care about college basketball suddenly became Steph Curry fans. Steph didn't just win games, he inspired a generation. Suddenly, every kid at the park was jacking up half-court shots, yelling, "Curry!" and missing horribly. But hey, that's the magic of Steph. He made everyone believe they could do it too. Loved? Definitely. Hated? Only by those who had to guard him. Derek Coleman, the Syracuse legend who could have been loved, if he didn't make it so hard. Coleman was a walking double-double machine, smooth, dominant, and confident. Maybe a little too confident for some people's taste. At Syracuse in the late 80s, Coleman was an absolute monster. He could rebound, block shots, and hit jumpers like he was playing on easy mode. But here's the thing, Derek didn't just want to win, he wanted you to know he was better than you while doing it. And if you didn't already know, don't worry, he'd tell you. Loudly. Fans loved his talent, but they hated his attitude. He carried himself like he was already in the NBA because, honestly, he probably was mentally. His swagger came off as arrogance, and his tendency to talk trash rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It didn't help that Syracuse was already a love-hate team, and Coleman became the face of that "we're better than you" energy. He was like the guy in pickup ball who calls fouls and flexes after dunking on you. You respected the skill, but man, you wanted to punch the air every time he smirked. And to be fair, Coleman earned that confidence. He left Syracuse as the school's all-time leading rebounder and one of the best big men in college basketball history. But for every fan who admired his dominance, there were two more who thought he was cocky, lazy, or just plain unlikable. Derek Coleman wasn't trying to be your hero, he just wanted to win and look good doing it. And that, right there, is how you become one of the most hated college players ever. Simply by being too good and too self-assured for everyone else's comfort. Buddy Hield. If Derek Coleman was the guy who made you roll your eyes, Buddy Hield was the guy who made you smile, even as he was dropping 40 on your team. The Bahamian bucket machine from Oklahoma wasn't just good, he was pure fun to watch. Buddy had that underdog energy, the kid who worked his way from shooting on a milk crate in the Bahamas to lighting up college basketball. Every time he hit a deep three, he'd grin like a kid who just stole an extra cookie. You couldn't even be mad, it was too wholesome. During his senior year, Hield turned college basketball into his personal three-point contest. He averaged nearly 25 points per game, carried Oklahoma to the Final Four, and had games where he was so hot it looked like the ball was magnetized to the rim. When he got in rhythm, defenders might as well have brought a folding chair, because they were just watching. But what really made people love Buddy wasn't just the buckets, it was the attitude. Always humble, always smiling, always grateful. No trash talk, no ego, just pure joy for the game. While other players were out there starting drama or tripping opponents, Buddy was dapping up refs and complimenting his opponent's defense. At the end of the day, whether you were throwing popcorn at the screen because Grayson Allen tripped someone again, or standing on your couch cheering Kemba Walker's step-back jumper, one thing's for sure, these players made college basketball electric. Love them or loathe them, these players turned simple games into stories. Stories we still argue about years later. If you enjoyed the video, kindly give it a like and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.